Evil Dead the Game's Hail to the King update. We're going to go over everything. We're going to go over the Blacksmith. We're going to go over the patch notes. We're going to go over the new weapons. We're going to go over all of it. We're going to break it all down in this video. I did a little bit of testing to figure out some of the numbers for certain things, and that's why it took a little longer to release this video instead of having it out like right when the patch dropped, which I was up and awake for at 6 a.m. But I had to do a little bit of testing for you all so that you don't have to do it on your own. So the first thing we're going to go over is the Blacksmith here. And by the way, before we get into his abilities, we speculated, well, is he going to have different perks? Because he can't pick up ranged weapons at all. So it doesn't make sense for him to have the normal ranged perks in his skill tree. And he does. He does have different perks in place of those ranged perks. This is normally Wig Splitter, and then this is Hollow Points. Those are both range related perks. Those have been replaced by Weapon Master, One-Handed, and Heavy Hitter, respectively. So you now have extra one-handed melee damage and extra heavy attack melee damage. Kind of interesting to me that they did this instead of having like Weapon Master one-handed and Weapon Master two-handed. It's kind of interesting that it seems like they are forcing you into a one-handed heavy attack playstyle potentially, but oh no, they do. They have Weapon Master two-handed down here. I didn't even see that. Boom. This is just happening live on the on the fly. There you go. They replaced this perk as well and have Weapon Master two-handed right here. So there you go. I was just about to criticize them and before I even knew what was going on. So they do have Weapon Master one-handed and Weapon Master two-handed. That's good to know. And then they also have Heavy Hitter if you want some extra melee damage down here. So we have Avenging Anvil. When activated, the Blacksmith fuses metal scrap to forge a random weapon. The metal scraps you own, the higher your chance of fashioning a high quality weapon. If you watched my video yesterday, which went over some of the Blacksmith footage that we saw, you would have saw that we went over this ability and how it works. He basically pulls out a little anvil and starts hammering on it. And he collects scrap, and he has that little pink F ability that replaces the ranged pink F upgrade that allows him to carry more scrap. And then depending on how much scrap he carries, he can craft different rarities. And if he has his pink F fully upgraded and he has a full 50 scrap, that means that he can actually craft a guaranteed legendary, which is pretty nice. Sorry, I was just loading up my footage there of the new weapons. And then his next ability is Weapon Master Melee. This is important. You're going to want to listen to this. I did testing on this. Melee weapons have a faster attack speed to deal increased health, balance bar, and dismemberment damage. In return, the Blacksmith is unable to use ranged weapons. Now, I don't know if this is consistent across the board. I don't know if he gets this increase in balance bar and dismemberment and attack speed, or if it's just his health damage. But I did test his health damage. Now, supports under normal circumstances get 20% less melee damage than the standard amount. So let's say you have a mace and it deals 65 damage. Supports will only deal 52. Whereas a leader who gets the standard 100% damage for melee would deal the standard 65. So it's 20% less under normal circumstances with supports. This guy deals 30% more. So he actually deals 50% more than the other supports. So a 50% increase from other supports and 30% more than the base amount of melee damage, which is insane. That is a lot more than I thought. Based on what they did like with David and his weapon mastery with the nail gun, which was pretty pathetic, admittedly, I was kind of expecting this to be, you know, like he would have 100% melee damage. He would just do the normal amount. He'd get a 20% increase from normal support. No, he gets 50%. He deals 30% extra. So he's nearly as effective as a warrior. He's in between a warrior and a leader. in terms of his melee effectiveness. So that's pretty crazy. He does a lot of damage. So he's kind of a warrior support hybrid, essentially. So that's really, really good. That's really crazy. Tough as nails increases the maximum health of the blacksmith. So he gets 400 extra maximum health. That's really, really good. That one's interesting to me. I don't know what's going on with that, because yesterday on the stream they said that he had 1300 health at base, but to my knowledge, supports have 900 health? I don't know. So it's 400 extra health. I don't want to speak out of turn. I could have sworn it was they only had 800, but maybe it's 900. I don't remember. It's been so long. But 400 maximum health, so he's very beefy. At the very least, he is at least close to warriors in health. And then his last thing is rough and ready. When using an amulet, the blacksmith and nearby survivors have their damage increased for a limited time. If you're lucky, the amulet might not break, so you could keep using it. The chance that the amulet doesn't break, which is also very surprising to me, because typically when they release stuff, the numbers are really like low. It's 50%. He has a 50-50 chance of not breaking his amulet. I have no idea if there's diminishing returns on this. That's something that even if you tested it, you can't know for sure. You can't know if you'd have to data mine to know for sure, because you can't know if it's just RNG that's causing it or not. But I had assumed that maybe there would be diminishing returns, like if you use an amulet and it doesn't break and you use it again, now it only has like a 30% chance of not breaking. If it doesn't break again, now it only has a 10%. And if it doesn't break again, now it's guaranteed to break, like something like that, so that you don't potentially get crazy RNG and use the same amulet like 10 times in a row, which is like, I know the odds of that are really low with 50-50 chances, but it could happen. And then it's like, oh, the RNG gods blessed you with a free win this match because you just happen to not use up any of your amulets. I don't know. If it's just a base 50-50 every single time that you use an amulet and there isn't diminishing returns, that's crazy. That's a pretty good ability. And then, it does have a 30-second cooldown, so I guess you can't do it like all back to back to back. Like when you use it, you get a 50% chance at an amulet. Although, again, I need to test this, because I don't know if that applies to the amulet break or if that just applies to the melee damage. It looks like, just based on the description, that it's a 30-second cooldown on the chance of the amulet not breaking, and then the melee damage has a duration of 20 seconds. That's what it looks like to me. So the melee damage duration is 20 seconds. The cooldown on the amulet not breaking is 30 seconds, so you can't just do it all back to back to back. That would make the most sense to me. That sounds like is what is going on here. So this is the blacksmith. Let's check out the new weapons here. We have the repeating crossbow, which does 150 damage, has a 5 ammo capacity, a rate of fire of 0.5. Now there's two ways that you can fire it. I will actually, while we're going over this, I'll show you a little bit of gameplay of it. This is what I got over here. So this is what the animations look like with the new staff weapon. The repeating crossbow has a 0.5 rate of fire, which you can hold it down and it will just shoot on its own. But you can also like manually click, and manually clicking, I found, is actually a little bit faster than just holding down the crossbow button. So you'll see here when I fire it, this is how fast it is when you're just holding it down. So, you know, reasonably fast. You can go a little bit faster than that, though, if you just click yourself manually. So there you go. So 150 damage, 5 ammo capacity, 0.5 fire rate, 20 dismemberment, 15 balance bar, a 2.6 reload time, and 50.0 range. I don't know who you'd really want to use this on. I would assume that maybe the best answer would be like support Ash, maybe something like that. I mean, I got to run through all the characters and see who it would really be good on. Maybe potentially Amanda if she uses her ability that gives her infinite ammo. If you're really good at like clicking super fast, that could be super crazy potentially. That's going to need some testing. And then so the staff over here is it's a two-handed weapon. It's a blunt weapon. Looks like Gandalf's staff. It does 37 damage. It's a 3-speed. It has 4.0 range, 10 dismemberment, 45 balance bar. I don't know about this one. I'm not sure why you'd want to use this. I guess it's kind of like the counterpart to the spear, where it's like it's basically just the spear, except it specializes in balance bar instead of dismemberment. That's basically what it is. But the spear is not particularly helpful in its own right. So I don't know when you'd want to use this. Again, you can always test it. Maybe it's really good on somebody. I don't know. But just based on what I'm seeing here early on, I just don't see a use for it at this point. And it's also kind of interesting because of as they're introducing more weapons, it's becoming harder and harder to find like what you want, because they're increasing the weapon pool. That'll also be interesting. Oh, one last thing I want to add on the Blacksmith. Hopefully, if you were just here for Blacksmith news, you didn't turn it off already. It was confirmed by Sohinki on Twitter that he does indeed craft ranged weapons. He does craft ranged weapons with his Blacksmith ability. So there you go. He can help out hunters on his team. It's random what he crafts, but he does have the ability to craft ranged weapons. So here you get a look at some of the animations with the new staff. That one's really funny. He hits the guy in the nuts. That's pretty brutal. With the non-finisher animation, whatever you actually call that. I don't know if there's an actual name for it. But yeah, those are the animations right there. And then let's check out the patch notes here. So, whoo, that's bright. Look out, people. Here are the new patch notes. We've got the new content here that's listed. The Blacksmith, Rapid Fire Crossbow, Quarterstaff, new single player mission. We'll be sure to check that out. And then all the new outfits that we've seen in past videos and on Twitter. We have new changes. This just kind of like is a recap of what is in the patch notes. It goes into greater detail further down. So if you have questions about this, we'll get into it in a second. First is Legacy of El Brujo. Now, besides starting with an amulet, Pablo could carry one more amulet and provide more shield to nearby teammates when using an amulet. I'm kind of proud of this one because I think they may have listened to some of my feedback that I gave them, where I was like, hey, man, this is basically, this Legacy of El Brujo ability is basically the counterpart to Cheryl's ability that she has with Shemps. But it doesn't make any sense because Pablo's ability is strictly worse than Cheryl's, which is bizarre because amulets provide much less health per amulet than a Shemps does. So if anything, Pablo should have like more bonuses to his perk than Cheryl does. It doesn't make any sense that he has significantly less. So I think that they listened to that. I don't know. I'm not going to say that they listened to me specifically. I'm sure many people left that feedback, but it is one of the things I put in the feedback email that I sent them. But it says, now, besides starting with an amulet, Pablo can carry one more amulet and provide more shield to nearby teammates when using an amulet. Numbers wise, we'll just scroll down here and spoil it for you. He gives an extra 20 shield, essentially, for each amulet that he uses now, and he gets to carry one more. So there you go. So kind of like how Cheryl does an extra 100 health when she heals her teammates. Now Pablo provides an extra 20 HP per amulet. There you go. A buff for Pablo, which is nice. And he gets another buff here. Infernal Camouflage. When Pablo shields a teammate, they will receive Infernal Camouflage for 8 seconds. So he uses that amulet, and it covers everybody up. This one's kind of interesting because this isn't really like... It's like not a relevant ability for 99% of the player base, but I could see like sweat squads abusing this. Like I could see somebody bringing a Pablo and then like rushing map pieces, and when they think the demon might be nearby or might find them, pop an amulet, and then maybe the demon will just cruise right by them and not know they're there. I don't know, but otherwise this one's kind of a weird one. I don't know about this one. I don't know like how much of a buff that really is. But I'll take anything, I guess, at this point. Leaders pink F improvement. Now leaders can apply more pink F. What does that mean? Go down here and spoil it for you again. That means now they have more upgrades that they can apply during a match with their pink F. Initially, when you read that, you might think, wait, does that mean that like they get more pink F? No, it means that now they can apply more. So now Lord Arthur's melee, it used to be he could only upgrade it 3 times. Now he can upgrade it 5, just like a warrior. His health, stamina, and shield were also increased to 4. So you can now upgrade that to 4 from 3. Survivor Ash had his melee, ranged, health, stamina, and shield increased from 3 to 4. And then Annie had her ranged pink F upgrade increased from 3 to 5. And then health, stamina, and shield increased from 3 to 4. I want to say that this is really nice too, because it sets the precedent that they might edit people's pink F skill trees, if you will, to make them unique to each player rather than just be like, all leaders have the same pink F upgrades. All warriors have the same pink F. Now they're establishing like, hey, we might change this. Same goes with the Blacksmith perk tree. Maybe they will be open to making each character have unique perk trees instead of each class of character all having the same thing. That's really cool. I'm excited for that. While we're down here, we might as well go over the other balance changes before we scroll back up and look at some of these bug changes. Survivor Kelly's Weapon Master meat hammer damage increased from 30% to 60%, and her bleed damage increased from 20% to 25%. The melee damage increase is good. Like the 30% extra is fine. I feel like they're really dedicated to making her sort of like a hybrid character. I don't know that that's ever going to work, because I don't know that you can balance that. She's either going to be too strong or not strong enough in terms of like how effective she is in melee. So we'll see though if this 30% is enough to make her viable. The bleed damage, an extra 5%. An extra 5% is not going to make a difference. Bleed damage is already a very low amount as it is. That's not going to do anything for her. Puppeteer, Puppet Master Power Possess cooldown increase from 60 seconds to 80 seconds. I say that like, oh, that's a lot. I don't know why I put so much emphasis on that. And then Puppet Master Power Possess damage at the highest level, 45, decrease from 25 to 15%. Is this enough? I don't know. We'll see. This will hopefully prevent possessing back to back to back like we see a lot. I mean, they're still going to be able to possess. They're just not going to be able to power possess as much. And power possessions are not going to be like as powerful. But one of the things I thought was the biggest issue with power possessions was their health. Those things are like impossible to kill when they're fully maxed out. Yeah, the damage was out of control, but they didn't do anything about the health, which is kind of crazy to me. And then also they didn't do anything about like other issues in terms of like the Plaguebringer having the ability to just basically infinite possess units throughout the whole match. They didn't do anything about hunters and the fact that they are really neutered right now with how their damage has been nerfed, and because AI attacks a lot more frequently, it's harder to play hunters. Like, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just giving you my takes on this now. Again, we'll have to wait and see. First impression is that probably not enough, but we'll see. The upper arrow no longer appears after refreshing the additional content in the collection after purchasing something in the in-game store. Hey, for OCD players out there, that's nice. Survivors take damage inside the car when hit by demonic units. I don't know why they ever didn't. They should. Possessed survivors no longer get stuck in the car if the player runs over it and gets out abruptly. Good. Demons can no longer see other survivors' positive tokens. Good. Carry soul to the altar status will no longer continue to be displayed after survivor drops the soul from their inventory. That's great, because that one was really annoying. Henrietta's gas skill duration will no longer stack per boss summon if the lingering gas skill is active. I don't fully know what that means. I assume that has something to do with the ability to, like, I saw that there was an exploit that allowed people playing Henrietta to like produce infinite gas. I'm hoping this means that this is a fix to that. Fingers crossed. Stamina will not be spent without sprinting if the player presses the sprint button at the end of some animations. That's good. Maybe I'm crazy here. If you made it this far in the video, you can let me know in the comments. I don't know if it's just because I've been playing other games recently, and it's just because Evil Dead is designed really weirdly. But I noticed that I'm like, when I sprint with a character, when I was doing my testing, I constantly like stop for no reason. Is that a new thing? Or have I just experienced other games that are designed well since then that have made me go like, oh, that's how this should feel when you sprint. You shouldn't just randomly stop for no reason. I was playing, and I don't know if that's a new bug or if it's always been like that and I just didn't notice. But man, it's annoying. You're like sprinting in a straight line and you'll just stop. Like you didn't run out of stamina. You'll just stop sprinting and start jogging. And I'm like, what is going on here? Very strange. I don't know if that's a new bug or if that's something that's always been there and it's just annoying. But let me know if you, in the comments, if you noticed that and if you made it this far in the video. The witch is no longer able to use the potion pitcher ability before the boss spawn animation is finished. Good. I'm glad that there's, more stuff that prevents you from doing things before an animation is even finished, like that annoying situation with the dark ones back when people would start attacking the book before the dark ones were even dead. Anything that allows you to do stuff before an animation is even finished needs to go. The Y/triangle button on controllers will be activated the first time the player runs towards the target. Hey, good for controller players. Title, missing text, and lorem ipsum text will no longer appear after the player exits from any mission and returns to the mission menu. Cool. Players won't get soft locked if they send a report button and they rapidly send friend requests during the police way. Who on earth discovered that? That's what I want to know. Someone out there reported someone and then rapidly sent friend requests right after and found out, oh, you get soft lock when you do that. Why? Who are you people out there that are doing that? That's a wild bug, but that's funny. Blue double barrel will 100% spawn in Bronson's Cave and Circus Cage's location during mission 1. Hey, for you mission single player people out there, congratulations. Demons will no longer see weapons with a red outline, even on a character with no fear, if it is dropped by scared survivors previously. Interesting. The grab ability of any boss can no longer cancel Mia's active skill and its effects. Just canceling active skills in general is annoying as hell. Like, I'm glad that that's gone. Or that this part anyway is fixed. Ed Getley's flashlight could be switched off during active skill time. Good, that was really annoying. The player will no longer be slowed down or stuck when driving a car and quickly entering Fairview Campground. That's a weird one. I never experienced that, but that sounds funny. Demonic units will no longer fly away when possessed with exactly the minimum evil energy cost. What? That's funny. I wish I had gotten to see that. Possess a unit and they just, my planet needs me, and they're off. That's pretty funny. They should have just kept that in, to be honest with you. VFX and effect of the warlord, the kind of like the Army of Darkness strat, where you could spawn a bunch of units and then there'd be like 100 of them. I understand why they patched it for like performance reasons, but that was really funny. Like, as far as gameplay goes, I would have loved it if they had kept that in. VFX and effect of the warlord's bad influence aura will be correctly located in the possessed character if it was activated during possession animation. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Double pierce ability will now show VFX and inflict survivors with blight on AI-controlled prisoner skeleton. Okay. Demon units will not be distorted / glitched after being shot / killed with a nail gun. I don't really, I mean, good, but I didn't notice that. And I've killed a lot of things with a nail gun. Henrietta's gas will no longer cancel survivors' active skill animations and effects. Good. Like I said, that's really annoying. I'm glad that's getting fixed. And then various getting stuck collisions and stability fixes. So that is all there is to it, to this balance patch that comes with the Hail to the King update. Now we get to play the fun game of finding all the stuff that they added or removed or changed that are not in these patch notes. That's always the fun part. I'm sure we'll be discussing that in the comments on Reddit and in the Discord. The Evil Dead Discord, that is. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I'm pretty excited for the Blacksmith stuff. I think that looks really cool. I didn't expect a big update. So for those of you out there who are disappointed that there is no new map, there is no new demon, and it's only one new survivor, I'm not too worried about it, because I kind of figured that this was a situation where it was like, hey man, we probably need to release something because it's Halloween. So they probably made sure to get just this small amount of content out for Halloween. And I think it's a decent little patch. And then we'll probably have a much larger content release next month, would be my guess. A little Christmas next month is November. What am I talking about? A little Thanksgiving present for those of you out there. But if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you watching, as always. Hey, by the way, I didn't get any freaking Savini codes to give out, so sorry. If you saw a bunch of other Evil Dead content creators giving out Savini skin codes, go get some from them, because they didn't contact me. They must have gotten really upset about that video I said their patch that they released, their last balance patch, sucked. They must have really taken offense to that. I didn't get any cards to give out to people. So if you need one of those Savini codes, go check out some of the other Evil Dead content creators and try to snag one from one of them. But if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, as always. Like, comment your thoughts on this new patch, and if you find anything, let me know. Anything that I may have missed or any new information, let me know in the comments, please. I'd really appreciate it. But as always, I'm Sledge, and thank you for watching.